that says what people must remember to do instead of just relying on them. Sometimes you have to tell them. And this is one that protects the lives of people. It's just such a shame when I have the opportunities, as I do, to speak to business people from around the world. They always comment on the great people of South Carolina. And a lot of us don't realize how different we are from a lot of other places. There are great people everywhere, but there's something special about those here. That's what they tell me, and I agree with them 100%. And to see some of our people, any people, see them unnecessarily hurt, damaged, to see families suffering from just acts of inattention is something that's just a crying shame. And so Bill Taylor went to work years ago, and we thank him for that. And the result is House 3276, the Hands-Free Driving Act, which makes it clear that when you drive in that vehicle, you got to have your hands on the wheel. You can't be distracted. It's just common sense, but sometimes it takes a law to remind everybody of that common sense. So now, Bill Taylor, if you will come forward.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate you. Wow, what a crowd. That shows what a monumental day it is, because this is an important bill. Governor, thank you. Thank you for hosting this and having the ceremonial bill signing, and thank you for your support of the hands-free bill. You know, today's ceremony marks more than just the signing of a bill. It represents a critical step towards saving the lives of South Carolinians on the road. Okay, the legislative journey has been kind of long. Things do take some time around here. And this year, my friend, Speaker Pro Tem Tommy Pope behind me, joined me in that fight and helped push this bill forward across the finish line. You know, it was first introduced in 2017, just before pre-filed in 2017. It was called Driving Under the Influence of Electronics, DUIE. The name was intentional and it was accurate. After all, AAA says that driving distracted is 6 times more deadly than drunk driving. You know, at least a drunk driver knows they're impaired, but when you're on your phone, you think you're driving, but you're driving blind. You're not looking at the road. After facing a number of roadblocks in the House of Representatives in the early years of this bill, I reached out to my good friend and colleague from Aiken, Representative Tom Young. Asked him, please go file the identical bill. Let's take a shot in the Senate and see if we can make some progress. He did, and finally in 2022, near the end of the session, the Senate passed this bill. Unfortunately, it got over to the House late, and it didn't get acted upon. So, of course, you know, we have to start all over again. Tom, your perseverance has actually paid off now. So here we are today, finally reached the finish line, and more importantly, the starting line for a new highway safety program. And over the years, education and advocacy made drunk driving socially unacceptable. It became a cultural taboo. You know, if someone's driving drunk, you go, oh, whoa, that's horrible, right? Well, my hope is that distracted driving, especially the use of phone or electronic gear in your car, and we don't even know what's coming in the cars ahead, will soon be viewed the same way. It'll be viewed as reckless, dangerous, and utterly unacceptable socially. Stop doing it. This new law gives drivers a powerful reminder just in case they need it, because if they can't put down their phones, they'll face costly tickets and points on their license that year record. So I guess the insurance companies might find that, and that's a more costly thing when the insurance rates go up. But even more importantly, there's life and death reasons to hang up the phone. Just a few seconds of distraction, and there's tragedy. Just a few seconds, 2, 3, 4 seconds. You know, that's why, by the way, DOT has put rumble strips on the side of many of our roads. Why? because you have to, the rumble strip woke me up and I get to go back on the road and figure it out, or even down the center of the line. Those rumble strips are a pretty good idea. You know, I want to do a special shout out. There's a whole bunch of folks here. Rick Todd is here from the Truckers Association. The truckers witness this distracted driving every single day. How about every minute or every hour? They see it time and time again. The other champions, and there's many champions on this, we never had a negative testimony in any Senate and House hearing over all these years. Not one person stepped up and said, this is a bad idea. ABATE, Ralph Bell and company, you guys were absolutely the heroic champions of this. They never let up. So ABATE gets a huge shout out of all of this. Another powerful ally was the executive director, Jennifer Smith of the StopDistractions.org, and she is a leading advocate for highway safety. She goes to every state in the union, is working with them, and Jennifer was to be with us this morning, but she got caught in the storms in Chicago last night and her plane flight was canceled. She wants to applaud, and I want to tell you this, she wants to applaud South Carolina. Officially, we are the 33rd state to enact hands-free. There's other counts about all of this, but I'll take hers because she is the preeminent expert. We're number 33, and we beat out Louisiana. They're going to sign number 34 here in short order. So I'm going to step back up in a few minutes because I have another person to introduce. But the other folks that we're going to thank here near the end are the victims, the families that have suffered through this tragedy. So I'll step aside, and in a few moments I'll come back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I want to just say that this is a great day in South Carolina. Two key points about this bill. Saving lives and a persistent team effort pays off. First, saving lives. There is no question that this law will save lives in South Carolina. As Representative Taylor said, in all the hearings that we held over the last several years, going back to 2019, I believe, in the Senate, 2017 in the House, no one came to a hearing who testified against the bill in any of the sessions. And no one testified that they did not believe that this legislation would save lives in South Carolina. So that's the first key point, saving lives in South Carolina. The second key point is that this bill shows that a persistent team effort will pay off. And over the last several years, we have had a team effort. All of the people who are here in this lobby who have been at the hearings and who have been at the grassroots level, the victims' families, nobody knows the impact that this, not having this bill enacted and this law in place, no one knows about that more than the victims, and many of them are here today. We're going to hear from a widow of one of the victims here in a few minutes. And also, Representative Taylor mentioned Rick Todd from the South Carolina Trucking Association. They've been a strong supporter of this from day one. And all of the other, the South Carolina Department of Insurance, they came and testified. There were various insurance entities that came and testified and said that this would help save on their rates in South Carolina if we enacted this. And I can't say enough about my Senate colleagues, Senator Grooms, Senator Massey, Senator Turner, Senator Rankin, President Alexander, Senator Peeler, Senator Hutto, the Senate leadership made this a priority. We passed this in the South Carolina Senate in 2022. We showed the South Carolina House that the Senate could pass this legislation, and we showed the people of South Carolina that we could enact this legislation. And I'm so proud to be here today and knowing that this law will become effective in 2026 and that we will see lives saved in South Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name's Tommy Pope. I'm the Speaker Pro Tem. I'm a representative from up in York County. I've always been supportive of the work Bill's done for years. I think I'm a former prosecutor, and it caught my eye when it was DUIE. I think that interests me significantly, but it really came home for me. I'm in private practice now, and we do personal injury, and I had not heard the statistics that you just heard from Bill, but I knew anecdotally that we see more people injured that come to us for help or lose their lives from distracted driving than we did from DUI. So those numbers are borne out in the real world. And so ironically, I got a call from some friends there in town. There was an attorney, Earl Gatlin, and I was remiss. His widow, I should have invited her here today too. Paula called me and said Earl had been killed riding his bicycle by a distracted driver. And law enforcement had explained there really wasn't much to do about it. Now, what we really want to do with this is prevent death. But the fact that there's nothing to do when it does happen, it frustrates law enforcement, it frustrates the victims, and so hopefully that's a step we can move forward with. I will say I know it's going to be new for law enforcement. You know, people gripe about the seatbelt and how do they enforce it and how do they not? And, you know, I'm sure the defense attorney is going to make great money trying to argue how you weren't distracted when it happens. But if we can deter people from doing it, then we can save lives. And I was shared with my friends from Abate. They gave me one of their patches, and I said, I believe this one's going on the dash of Tommy Pope's car because it's the same thing. I put a new hands-free device in my car yesterday, and we got to break the habit. Because I think as much as anything, I mean, we do it, you know, when we sit down at the dinner table with our family, we don't do this anymore, we do this, and we've got to stop because it's taking lives and it's endangering our citizens. I respect all the world that the folks from Aiken, I respect all the work that the folks from Aiken have done. I'm glad that I can be a part of it. I'm honored to be here with you. And as cliche as it sounds, if we can save one life with this, then we've saved one tragedy for one family, and we've done our job, and that's what you sent us to Columbia to do. Thank you for your time.
Director Woods.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. I'm Rob Woods. I'm Director of the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. First, I want to thank the Governor. I want to thank Representative Taylor, Senator Young, Speaker Pro Tem Pope for putting this important tool in the hands of law enforcement in South Carolina. I can tell you that the South Carolina Hands-Free and Distracted Driving Act will, in fact, save lives in this state. In addition to speeding, seatbelt violations, and driving under the influence, distracted driving remains a primary cause of collisions and deaths. A study that was done by the Department of Transportation, U.S. Department of Transportation, showed that in 2023, 8% of fatal crashes, 13% of personal injury crashes, and 13% of all police-reported crashes were related to distracted driving. Now, what that translates, those percentages into numbers, in that 2023, 3,275 fatalities nationwide were a result of distracted driving, and approximately 325,000 injuries resulted from distracted driving. By requiring people to put their phones down and keep their eyes on the road, we are confident this law will prevent collisions and save lives. It is important to know that our troopers and officers of the Department of Public Safety, working in cooperation with our local law enforcement partners, will strictly enforce this law. So please be reminded, this law takes effect on September 1st of this year. Now, for the first 6 months, we'll just issue warnings. But beginning on February 28th of 2026, we will begin issuing tickets. And those fines will begin at $100 for a first offense, and then for second or subsequent offenses, that'll be $200 and a 2-point assessment against your driver's license. To complement our law enforcement efforts, we will focus on informing and educating the public on both the dangers of distracted driving as well as the important requirements of this law. Over the next several months, we will provide information about the hands-free law through billboards, social media, and our new webpage, which is scdps.sc.gov/hands-free. In addition, our troopers and state transport officers will soon be issuing ticket folders. Just to give you an idea what that is, it's sort of a pamphlet that a ticket or a warning will go into and be handed to a violator that will outline the requirements of this law. So that'll be another one of our public information initiatives. We're also working with state agencies to help spread the word. As you can see here, one of our key partners, as always, Department of Transportation, Secretary Powell's with us today. These signs are going to be posted throughout the state, so people will be reminded to put their phones down. In addition to that physical signage along interstate highways, DOT will display information about the law on their digital signs. See the changeable message signs that you see, and marquees. The Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, PRT, will display messaging at our state welcome centers, and the Department of Motor Vehicles has already begun sharing this message, displaying it in their 65 branches. We recognize that this law will cause a very significant change in driving habits for many drivers. So we will educate first, keeping the public informed of the dangers of distracted driving, and then also, again, making sure they understand the elements and requirements in this law. Thank you so much.
I mentioned a while ago that Jennifer Smith from Driving Distracted couldn't be with us this morning. She definitely wanted to be. She's been here. She's testified. She's counseled me. She's been my resource to go to all the time. She keeps me abreast of what all the other states are doing. So, and by the way, she is thrilled with our bill. That's pretty good. The person that's the most knowledgeable about all of this says, your bill is perfect and better than most. And I thank you. It took a while to get there. So allow me to do this. Just a few words from Jennifer, her remarks that she was going to provide on this occasion. She said, quote, I want to thank the courageous families that never gave up. For more than 8 years, and I look over here, we have some families. For 8 years, you've shown extraordinary determination, compassion, and resilience. You've turned your personal tragedies into a mission to protect others, sharing your stories in the most difficult moments so that no other family would have to experience the pain that you have lived through. Today we remember Juju, Frank, and Dale, and all the other precious lives that were taken too soon or forever changed by distracted driving. This law is in their honor. Please, it is in their honor. Come forward a little bit so they can all see you. Come up here just a little bit. You're good. Come on up here. Come on, Mom. Come on. Stand right there. There you go. Stand right there. Come on, Mom. Right there with you. This law is for you guys and for every other family that has lost loved ones on the highway to distracted driving. The law is in their honor, so says Jennifer, and because of your unwavering efforts, their legacies will now save lives. And these were the words of Jennifer Smith of DistractedDriving.org. Want to thank all the families that were here, and I particularly want to bring one particular person up. That would be his grandmother. He lost his grandpa. Lost her father. Come up here, man. Thank you, dear. Appreciate you. Kelly Willenberg. Go for it, dear.
Good morning. I speak in front of people all the time across the country on health care compliance, and I think I'm the nervous I've ever been in my life right now. So today, as we stand on the threshold of change by signing this hands-free bill into law, my daughter, Mariel Norton, and my husband's namesake, Dale Norton, and I are here in memory of Dale in our hearts, a husband, father, grandfather, and cyclist whose life was stolen in a heartbeat by distraction behind the wheel. Distracted driving is not just about texting, checking notifications, finding the right station on Sirius, or putting mascara on. It is about failing to recognize the responsibility of holding lives in your hands every single time you are at the driver's seat of a vehicle. Dale was doing everything right. He wore a helmet, he followed the rules, he was visible, cautious, conscientious, and had kind intentions as he rode. Once while he was riding in Tennessee, he stopped at a motorcycle accident to aid a motorcyclist who had been injured in an accident, performing CPR on the injured passenger until the ambulance arrived. As a nurse anesthetist with a stressful job, he called riding on his bike his mental health time, but none of that could protect him from a glance that cost him his life. Every day in the United States, 9 lives are lost to distracted driving. I do not want anyone in this room to suffer the trauma we have suffered, lives crushed under grief and a legacy interrupted needlessly. Choosing screen over safety is not an option. The bill is more than legislation. It is a vow to protect what matters most. For us, it's not just a policy. It's a promise born of our pain and purpose since that faithful day in 2017. Dale's story will not be repeated. Our roads will be governed by responsibility, awareness, and respect. Let this law stand as a reminder that no message, no text, no ping or post is worth the price of a human life. This morning, we swap routine for responsibility. Today, we stop measuring worth in likes and start valuing life. Let this law be Dale's legacy. Let it be the voice for those who can no longer speak. It is more than policy. It is a promise to protect. For lives lost and lives that will now be spared in South Carolina, we turn the page on preventable tragedy. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's all of the talking. I don't think there's anything else that could be said. So now we will sign it.
Come over here. Come on. We've got some families coming here. Just a second. Right in here. Right in here.
Now we'll take questions. Immediately.
All right. Anyone have a question? We've got answers.
Governor, Representative Scaler mentioned how we're the 33rd state to pass this type of law. Does it bother you that for something that is common sense, it takes so long to put that's a law in place?
We could all say that about all kinds of legislation as well as other things, but the point is it got done. You want to add?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, another question. Another comment.
Governor, I think we answered all the questions with all that was said up here.
Okay.
We're available if you want. After.
All right, well then, these,
Ralph?
yes, sir.
I just wanted to make a comment and thank everybody here, motorcyclists of South Carolina. Appreciate what everybody's fought for. I know the gentleman here over time, but legislation, good legislation takes time, just like good chili. And I appreciate it because we're going to save lives and we're going to see that in the coming years, not in the coming decades.
That's right. Thank you.
I'm sorry for everybody's lost, but we've done it.
You've done it. Thank you all.
Professional truck drivers,
Rick?
fleet owners echo what our motorcyclists just said. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all, thank you for coming. Getting better all the time in South Carolina.
Thank you.
See you guys. Hey,